Hey there, Wedding Confessionals listeners. It's Brooke just coming in early to remind you that this is actually part 2 of our chat with my buddy Paul Caiola from the podcast That Aged Well. If you haven't listened to part 1, hit pause, go back to episode 117 where we go over the best wedding movies of all time. It's really fun and we love a lot of them and we hate one in particular. And if you've already heard that, well then continue listening to this part 2 where we get into confessionals.
Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Okay, so on to confessionals. For any of our newer listeners, confessionals are anonymous. They're sent in by our listeners, and we read them aloud, and we hopefully give decent advice, or at least help you laugh. Or vent with you.
Yes.
Maybe I'll rant about Ben Affleck some more. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot. We never know what's going to come out.
It's true. Pam, you want to go first?
I do. And Brooke, I have to say, before starting this, Brooke asked me to specifically read this one today. We have not discussed it. We don't discuss these beforehand, but she's just like, there's one that, can you please read this today?
I just thought that Paul specifically would be a good person to talk about this topic due to his personality. And I worried that another guest, we don't really know them that well. You know, I just feel like it's a topic that we want to make sure somebody who really gets it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to try not to cry reading this.
Guys,
just saying.
I definitely cried reading it.
Yeah. Hello, Brooke, Pam, guest, and Ruthie. Not sure if I would call this a confessional, an advice, or maybe a little bit of both. I got engaged in August of 2021 and will be getting married this Saturday, March 13th, 2022. 5 days and 14 hours to go according to my countdown. My wedding isn't going to be very big, actually very small. We invited around 50 and only have about 34 RSVPing yes. So for the most part of this wedding planning journey, I have been stress-free and excited. My fiance and I also don't have a lot of close friends. He's 40 and I just turned 33, and we tend to be with each other or family. So to make our wedding feel even simpler, no wedding party. The only ones in our wedding is my nieces and my dog. Yes, my dog, Jasmine, is my beautiful Australian Shepherd that I rescued when I worked at the emergency vet clinic. I am a vet tech. And she, in turn, rescued me on so many occasions. It was a no-brainer that my maid of honor would be a dog of honor. She just turned 12 in February, and I even got her a flower collar for the big day. However,
I'm very scared about where this is going.
However, on Saturday morning, a week before my wedding, only 3 days ago, I woke up to her acting sick and off. She progressively and very quickly got worse and became very painful in her abdomen. And she wouldn't even walk anymore. My fiance and I took her to the same emergency clinic where I rescued her, which I haven't worked there in almost 10 years. And the same doctor who helped me save her was there. After radiographs, we learned she had an aggressively large tumor in her abdomen that wasn't removable, and I had to let her go. I have cried and broke down more times than I can count since that day. Since I lost a piece of me, a lot of people may think I'm weird and say it's just a dog, but to me, she was a piece of me, and we had a once-in-a-lifetime soul-dog connection. In saying all of this, I couldn't get through any of this without my fiancé. He's been so strong for me and accepting of my grief. So I guess my confessional part of this week of my wedding really blows. I really can't believe she's gone, but the advice part, no matter how stressed you get during the wedding planning or when crap hits the fan leading up to your wedding, when you have the right guy by your side, that's really all that matters. You just got to take a step back and be truly thankful. From losing a girl's best friend.
Oh.
Fuck. Sorry, Paul, but I knew you're an animal lover and you would get it.
That blows. That's really sad. Actually, before I forget, I'm going to send this to Brooke and Pam. My mother has like an article about losing a pet that she often gives to people when they lose pets, and I'll send it to Brooke and Pam, and they can forward it on.
Put in the show
you.
notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing a girl's best friend, because it's just I just have a picture of it, so it's not a link. So I don't know if you could do that in the show notes, but
Yeah.
you can at least forward it on to this person.
I'll make it work.
Yeah. This really sucks. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a unique situation, like losing a pet, especially if you've had them for a long time,
Yeah.
because some people get it and the people that aren't animal lovers just don't. And it's a weird,
There's no in between.
yeah, you either get it or you don't.
Yep.
And you are surrounded by 3 people who fucking get it.
Yes.
Putting down a pet is never easy.
No, my heart goes out to you because I was a mess for probably a week the last time I put my dog down. Like it just was, I was a mess. So kudos to you and the strength of your fiance being able to help you through this because, you know, I get it. It's so much stress and grief, and you know they give so much love. That's just all they do, and I'm so sorry.
I remember when Pam was going through that, I came the night before with a bottle of, I think, liquor. I don't even know if it was wine.
Bear wine.
Oh, I brought bear wine.
Bear wine.
Brought bear wine. Of course I did. And the 2 of us got drunk and hung out with her dog.
Yeah.
And at one point, I remember your husband came home and was just like, girls, what are you doing? And I was like, shut up, Jeff. Shut up right now. We are grieving. Shut your face.
Yes, he got sent away.
Yeah. No, but it really is like, I'm glad that you have a person in your life who gets it and can be there for you. And that's really important. I know Paul, you know, had recently an issue with his pet being very ill and overcame it.
He did. My little kitty, he made it through. But you know what? Get pet insurance, everyone. Get pet insurance for your animal because... Man, did that pay off. we are way ahead on that insurance company. But yeah, he made it through. But the other thing I just noticed in this email, like this is only 3 days ago. You had to do this 3 days ago. You were in like, and with no lead up, like you were not expecting it. It wasn't like, you know, you knew this was coming for a while. And then like,
no, it's
it's like she woke up and that really is awful. And you are in like the absolute worst of it. And now you're also, I'm sure, probably feeling like, I'm supposed to be the happiest I've ever been because I'm getting married, and like you have this like weird external thing that's happening in your life, but you have this very personal thing, that horrible thing. It's just it's a real shitstorm of events and
emotion.
I would try to like forgive yourself for how you're feeling a little bit. And, you know, it sounds like your fiance kind of gets it, and that's great. And, you know, my guess is when the day of the wedding arrives, you'll be able to kind of let it go because so much happens on the wedding. It may actually be the first time you're just distracted from feeling shitty all the time. And if you don't, then you don't. And that's okay too. Like you're allowed to feel what you feel.
Absolutely. And you might want to still have the flower collar there as a memory.
Oh,
that
that's
she's
a really
still
good
there.
idea. Oh, Pammy.
Mm-hmm.
I love my little dum-dum who just walked out of here. She's been in and out the whole damn episode, making noise, never stopping. We recently had a little health, scare with her. She's totally fine. She had to have a little surgery. I'll put up a picture of her with her little paw and her little cone.
And her tongue out.
Yeah, I'll put up some pictures so you can see. But yeah, but it really was, it's very scary for a minute there. But like, I think you're right to lean in on the people that you can, but also, try to have the best time you can in situations like this. And this kind of goes out to anyone. Like you have sort of a shocking thing that happens close to your wedding. A previous episode with Noelle came on and we're dealing with her mother passing very soon before she got married.
That's right.
And, we've had other people, write in with sort of this sort of same thing of something that happens that just sort of, it's just such a juxtaposition between this like joyful thing and you're supposed to be projecting all this happiness, but like internally you don't want to just completely forget about those feelings, but you also can compartmentalize hopefully. And maybe if it's best for you just to dive into the wedding planning and dive into, kind of a distraction for a bit, that's also fine. You shouldn't feel guilty if you end up doing that.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that you're thoughtless or anything like that. And I mean, it sounds like you also were just a really good little pet parent and you really loved your little doggy. And I mean, there's no way that doggy didn't know that you had such love. And that's all you can really do for your pets is give them the happiest
Best
little
life
life.
you can.
Yeah. And it sounds like you completely succeeded. And our hearts go out to you because we're all animal lovers. Cat, dogs,
Totally.
birds, squirrels. I'm attached to the damn rats that eat out of my bird feeder at night.
Templeton, did you name them?
I was just going to ask
I
that.
call them my night squirrels. Because Tristan's like, maybe we should take the food down at night. I'm like, but they're hungry too.
It's true.
I love all the animals.
Feeding all my night squirrels.
Little birds in the backyard like lay eggs, and I get to see the little baby birds hang out. And then when they fly away, I really do have empty nest syndrome.
Oh, I do too. I watch them every year.
So good. The day that one hummingbird left, I was like a mess.
You're like, Marlene, no.
Don't get me started on the one day I came out and an egg had fallen out in the nest and onto the ground. And I made Tristan bury it, and we had a little ceremony for that little egg because that's who I am. So what I'm saying is that I get it. Feel all the feels.
Yes.
And we have a special place in our heart for little Jasmine. Sounded like
We
a
do.
little sweetheart. Okay, we're going to move on to something happier. Also, our apologies for anyone driving who's trying not to cry. Please don't get into a car accident. This was incredibly sad. But I think it's also we have to talk about the sad stuff sometimes.
We do. It happens.
Life.
It helps.
Yeah. You're not alone. People go through sad stuff, and it's okay to process it and talk about it.
Yep.
Okay, on to number 2. Hi, lovely ladies and the best pup, Ruthie. I need some very COVID-specific wedding advice, please. Okay. I have so many vendors ghost me at random times during my planning. My preferred cake vendor was wonderful during the tasting and design planning, and when I was ready to give them money for a deposit, radio silence. I completely understand the overwhelming amount of weddings that vendors are going through. However, do I have unrealistic expectations that vendors should at least communicate when they can communicate? Follow-up question. How would you handle it if one of your best hopes for a vendor stops communicating? From, I just want cake.
Oh, I feel you.
Now I want some fucking cake. That sounds great.
I'm in a
want
perpetual
cake.
state of wanting cake.
I mean, after the last story, I know I'm going to be eating some cake. Like, that sounds fantastic.
Short sidebar, I made something called an 86 proof bourbon chocolate cake last week.
Oh.
It was fucking delicious.
Yeah, Paul, you put most of the things you bake on your Instagram account, right?
Yeah.
I will make sure
Yeah.
to link it because he's an exceptional baker to begin with, but getting to see all the different recipes he tries, I mean,
That one sounds delicious.
if I didn't already miss that we live on opposite coasts, seeing all these random desserts that I'm completely missing is rude.
It's just rude.
Okay, but back to the specific question. So in general, I know we're acting specifically for you about this cake vendor, but I think she's asking for the general public of people dealing with this sort of issue. The COVID / post-COVID, whichever you think you're in, depending on what city and area you in. Like, it really is a situation where everyone delayed, and now everyone's trying to get married all at once.
Same time, yeah.
Every vendor is booked. We talked when we had Amanda Walker on, our event planner / wedding planner, and she was trying to give a point of view of the vendors, and it sounds like this is an ongoing issue. So I guess the question is, how can she navigate this? Should she give up on this baker?
I think that, I'm not navigating this. I don't have experience with this. But I would say that, set yourself a number of times you're going to attempt to contact this person before you let it go. 3 times, 5 times, whatever, or 2 emails, 2 phone calls, and then if they don't get back to you, then I just have to let it go. Because otherwise you're always gonna be like, okay, I'll just give them 2 more weeks, or I'll give them another day, and then suddenly you're in a situation of I guess we're having chip witches for the dessert at the wedding because we don't have a cake and it's gone too far, right? So I think something like that, where if you give yourself a hard line, a rule to follow, then you kind of have the answer built in, and you won't talk yourself into something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's smart. I would say either, a number of emails or a date. Where if they don't call me back by, April 2nd, we're done.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then to add to that, have a backup. Or maybe you got to start, while you're waiting, start looking around and having a backup plan, because you don't want to get to that date and then be screwed. So have a plan B and a plan C ready to go.
And maybe one of those plans, if you're willing to, should be not a wedding cake. Because you can get cupcakes, or we had ice cream sandwiches at my wedding, or you can do something fun that's just different.
Wait, did you have Chippewiches at your wedding? Chipwich?
No, we got there's a company that makes homemade ice cream and homemade cookies, and they make ice cream sandwiches.
That sounds wonderful. Now I want an ice cream. Guys, we're going to have cake. We're going to have ice cream sandwiches. We got a big
It's going to
day.
be a gluttonous day.
Yeah, I would say also, if you are already in the middle of planning your wedding, there must be vendors that are calling you back, whether it's your location or if you hired a DJ. All of these people are in the wedding business. So,
Oh, yeah.
They know people.
Yeah. So if you have a caterer that you already like that you're working with, or the vendor you're using, the venue you're using is providing the catering, give them a call and be like, hey, I'm having problems finding a baker. Is there anyone that you really, prefer? Because they're going to give you somebody that is probably reliable. Because the last thing they want to do is mess up their reputation with you. So it might not be specifically the style you're looking for, the exact thing you're looking for. But at this point, if reliable becomes the number one priority because you're getting really close to the date,
Yep.
yeah, it might be worth it. And maybe that is kind of a thing of maybe, like Paul was saying, changing your viewpoint or your expectations, or maybe broadening an idea of what you have. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Don't waste too much more time on a person that's not calling you back, because that's just going to be so much added stress. Like if you think between getting a cake I love, but never really knowing if it's going to be there on time and having the constant stress, versus getting a cake that tastes really good and maybe it's not the exact vibe I was looking for, but I literally make a phone call, write a check, and it's over. Which one is more important to you? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, my guess is the stress is going to really kind of change the perspective of which vendor you use.
Totally.
But also, like, fucking call people back, man. I hate that shit, especially like a text or an email. I understand phone calls because it's hard sometimes, but because, after a certain business hour, it feels weird to call somebody, but you can send an email at 1 a.m.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And there's plenty of these kind of wedding vendors that do, because they're off hours. That's when they're able to get back to you.
Also, you can set it up where you can write that email at 1:00 in the morning and send it the next morning. There's that. So you can send it during business hours.
So no, you're not being crazy and bitchy and demanding of this person. Getting back to you is what professionals do. And if they're too booked, they should tell you. They should say, I'm so sorry, we're too booked. Because a lot of people, if you look at Instagram, at all of the vendors or whatever, if you look on their websites, a lot of times right now, it'll just say booked through this date.
Yep.
And they'll just say, so just telling you to begin with, like, if your wedding's in June, I'm not available. So don't buy, the cake for me. They just take care of it. They don't even have to worry about it. Because on their end, the last thing they want to do is constantly be fielding phone calls and emails about shit they can't take. You know what I mean? So definitely be looking for that. If you are looking for new vendors and you're looking on Instagram or on websites, look for the details, because they might already be telling you their availability, especially because you're getting close. But I do believe you will find something. There is someone out there that will make something great and you will like it. And it might not be exactly what you want, but at the end of the day, on the day of, you'll be like, oh, it's so cute. Right?
Absolutely.
Paul? Maybe Paul will make your cake. Do you live in New York City? Do you like bourbon chocolate?
I also had a friend who she didn't love cake. She loved pies. And she had a selection of pies at her. So it was like, you could have apple pie, chocolate, like a dozen different pies. Which was really fun, and like everyone can kind of get what they liked and get what they wanted, so that it's just another idea that thinking outside the box, the wedding box.
I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe look up unconventional wedding cakes and kind of get an idea that way. But I think you're gonna be great. It's gonna be fine.
It will.
And that vendor sucks. And my bet as a betting woman is that you will not end up with that vendor. You will end up with a different baker.
Yep.
You have to let us know.
Yeah.
Send us the update.
We love an update. All right. Numero trace from
All right.
Paul.
All right. Good day, friend. Oh, is this from Down Under?
I think
Good
so.
day, friends.
We do have Australian listeners.
And Whittle Baby Ruth. So, I need a third-party advice on this. My man has no opinion, and my best friend says it's fine, but I feel weird. I am interested. Okay. Well, my sister-in-law's ring is rose gold with a teardrop Morganite stone. Pause. What's Morganite?
It's like a more cost-effective, kind of looks like a diamond.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a white gem.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to picture
It's
it.
like, it's like a pinker. I mean, it can be, I believe Morganites usually are a little bit pinker. Now, God damn it, now I got to look it up because I don't want people yelling at us. I don't want comments. Hold on. Morganite. From Wikipedia, Morganite is an orange or pink gemstone and is also a variety of beryl. Morganite can be mined in countries, I don't care where it's mined, Brides and CNN has listed it as a good alternative to diamonds.
Okay.
There
So
we go.
I think
Got
maybe it might be a little bit cheaper. It also might be a little more ethical if people are sort of into getting kind of sketched out
Got
about
it.
diamonds.
Love that. All right. I will take that back. Well, my sister-in-law's ring is rose gold with a teardrop Morganite stone, and I found a ring I love that is also rose gold with a Morganite stone. It's not teardrop shaped, but ... Also, their anniversary date is September 21st. The date I have planned for, nothing is set yet, is September 25th. It wasn't intentional to be so close for both the ring and the date, but it just feels that way. I didn't even notice until I double-checked their anniversary. So, is it weird to be so similar? Does it look like I'm trying to upstage / steal their day from am I copying, or do great minds just think alike?
This is
I
but Pam's smiling. Go. What do you think?
I think you do you. You're not doing the same date, same thing. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other things that'll be different. And I don't know why you chose that date, but if that's what works for you and when you want to have the wedding, I mean, I say do it. I don't think you're copying.
Yeah, I think that the anniversary date of the sister-in-law is September 21st, and you're looking for a wedding date of September 25th. I think it might be a conflict if the sister-in-law was getting married on the 21st and you were trying to get married
Right.
a few
Yes.
days later. Then I'd be like, whoa, pump the brakes. Think about scheduling for everyone. Maybe we want to rethink. But an anniversary, 4 days later, meh. I think you're fine.
You're fine.
Because if they wanted to
Yeah.
have some sort of getaway vacation, it sounds like they would either do it, if it's 4 or 5, it would either be they just do the weekend before.
They'll
or the
figure
day
it
of.
out.
Yeah. Like I genuinely don't think you should stress about the date because I feel like that's the more important. Like you got to lock in a date if there's a venue you like.
Yeah.
Venue you like.
Venue you like.
Yeah. That's not easy. Okay. So the ring. Okay. I have to say, I'm not a ring person.
You're not.
I got whatever random ring was my husband's grandmother's ring. I cannot tell you. I literally had to look up on Wikipedia the Morganite thing. I don't really know shapes. I'm a ring dummy. So when I think about people having the same rings, my brain literally goes, doesn't everybody have the same ring? Like I'm so dumb. So I know that Pam had a really nice engagement ring. So does.
Yes.
You, I think maybe know a little bit more. So I'm going to let you figure out the ring answer. Is it still the same?
Yeah. I mean, you can't, there's so many diamond rings out there. That's not copying. So what is
Yeah.
the difference between a Morganite or a diamond? Like you're picking a different shape. So it is different. Rose gold is totally in at the moment. And I like I said, I think you're fine. I don't think it's weird.
Paul, do you have any opinions on rings?
I have to say, I'm worried. Like y'all had a question on here a while back about someone worrying about the dress being copied by a mother-in-law, and I was literally like, "What's the big deal?" And you were both like, "That's weird." It's like, I guess I'm wrong about this. So I don't know if my man brain has the right settings for this.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I mean, if you're close with your sister-in-law, it sounds like you might have a fairly good relationship with her. If it really is bothering you, you can be like, look, I picked this out and I realized it was close to yours. Does that bother you? But like, if you're not close with her, then who cares? Like,
That's actually a good point. Like maybe there's part of the story that we don't know.
Oh.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's other
Stresses between that relationship?
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe there's been other things brought up or close or copying or whatnot. So maybe that's
Yeah.
why she's feeling a little self-conscious about these two things.
Yeah. If that's the case, don't bring it up with her. But if she's
Yeah.
chill, I would just be like, at the end of the day, like, what is it? Not copying is the flattery. What is the
most sincerest form? Flattery is the sincerest form of
no copying?
mimicry. Is the serious form of flattery.
Yes.
Sincerest form of flattery. Something like that.
Guys, we're nailing it.
We've already
So good today.
stuck that landing like Simone Biles.
The idea being most people, if you have kind of the same style or you do something that like, oh, I really liked your green top, so I ended up buying something very similar. Pam and I have been known to go to
Oh my
Target
gosh.
together, kind of disperse within the store, and then come back together and realize we were picked out the same
thing.
sweater. Yeah.
That's what we do.
Plagiarism is the sincerest form of flattery. That's it.
That's it. Good job, buddy. Plagiarism. Right. But you're not, you're not, it's fine. I think that obviously there's a stress there. Don't talk about it. If not, I would just make light of it. Like, hey, we both have the same kind of style. Yeah. My guess is if you're picking out the same kind of ring, you might be the same kind of hairstyle or dress, and do you wear the same kind of shoes? It's not that weird, especially a lot of times when you live somewhere regionally, people sort of dress alike or have a certain style. That's just how humans work. And I don't think that you're a copycat or a loser if you end up getting a ring somewhat similar to her.
Yeah.
I think
and
it's
also
fine.
Is that something that people would know off the top of their heads? It sounds like from you ladies, you're not aware of what other women's wedding rings necessarily look like off the top of your heads. I wouldn't.
No idea.
You have plausible deniability there is all I'm saying. If something weird does happen, you'd be like, I didn't even know that was your wedding ring or whatever.
I like it. Be like Paul. Just lie.
Just lie.
I couldn't tell you what my sister-in-law.
Yeah, it was the only date the venue had, and I don't know what your fucking wedding ring looks like, and this is mine now. So moving on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Paul. It should not be a big deal. The only way it becomes a big deal if you make it a big deal.
Yeah.
So just don't make it a big deal. Just go about your business, get the ring you love. You have to wear it forever.
Yes.
Right? Are you wearing yours right now? Do you wear yours? Yeah,
day.
Pam's got it up right now. Bam, look at that bling. Me, it's in a drawer somewhere. Not a ring person.
Mine's right here. Mine's right here because I keep hitting it on the table and it makes a really loud noise on the recording, so I take it off.
So yeah, I think going back to what Pam said right in the beginning, you do you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always listen to Pam.
Yes.
Especially when she tells you to bend the truth or bend the rules.
Bend it. It's all right.
Bend it like Beckham.
Bend it like Beckham. So we were going to just do 3, but one came in the other day and I texted Pam and I said, I don't know if you've read this one yet, but I already know my answer.
Bonus.
Do you want to read it, Pammy?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Hi, Pam and Brooke. My friends that I got to listen to your podcast and I always joke that we should invite you to our weddings in the next few years. I was wondering, do you think you would ever actually go to a fan's wedding? Would you want to be invited? Have you ever gone to a stranger's wedding before? Could make for a wild episode if you ladies take the podcast traveling. P.S. Ruthie is, of course, invited as well. From Half Joking, but...
And I was like, Pam and I need to have this discussion live on the podcast. Because I know my answer and I want to know yours. My answer is
yes.
Yeah. What is your answer?
Hell yeah.
I've been to a few weddings where I was the +1 and didn't know anybody really, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I have a blast. I love a wedding.
We love
They're
weddings.
The best.
It's so fun.
Not knowing not knowing anyone else at the wedding, being the stranger in the photos that they're always like, who was that? It's the best. It's the best role at the wedding.
You've been a +1 to a wedding that I went to. We lived in New York together, and you didn't know anybody. It was a work person, and he was like, "I don't know who John is, but congratulations."
I was a wedding date to many of my female friends for about a decade. I did a lot of +1ing.
Yeah, I guess you're a low stress date because there's no is he gonna try to hook up with me at the end? There's no pretense that this is gonna get.
I'm gonna dance with you and I'm gonna drink with you and then we're gonna go to our separate rooms and go to sleep.
No subtext. It's fine.
Yep.
Okay, so Pam, let's get some stipulations in here. First of all, the question about should Ruth come. I'm telling you right now, she's a delight. She's a sweetheart. She's the cutest little dog in the world. You do not want her at your wedding.
She's not a traveler.
She is terrible in a car. She is terrible in a new place. I don't take her to outdoor restaurants. I don't really like taking her to other people's houses. It's the queen of this
she's
world.
A homebody.
Yeah, she's the queen of this house.
Yeah.
And anywhere else, she gets a little bit stressed out. So it is for the best that I leave Ruth at home. So what are the stipulations, do you think? Would you blindly say yes to anyone, or do you need to do a background check?
I know you want to do a background check.
At least I want to be open to seeing your Instagram.
Yes. We
having
need
a
to
conversation.
Be able, yes. Yeah. Location is definitely right now, going to a stranger's wedding, hopping on a plane and heading over. I don't know if I'm there yet. But if you are in Southern California area.
What, like a 50-mile radius, 100?
Sure,
You've got that
that's something
RV. We can go pretty far.
We could. Absolutely.
Southern California. Vegas?
Vegas could be fun.
Okay, we'll go as far as Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas is as far as we will go.
As long as there's an Elvis.
Yes, Southern California / Vegas.
Yep.
We are a soft yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask a follow-up question for your listeners?
Yes.
Are you willing to MC weddings?
I mean, for a
Oh my
price.
gosh.
What are the tiers? What are the tiers that we can get? This is bronze tier, silver tier, gold. What do you provide? You know.
Oh my God. I never even thought about that. But I have never, because you had a friend MC your wedding, right, Paul?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Also, are either of you ministers that can perform weddings?
Oh.
Like, if we're gonna get this cottage industry going, we got to build the walls, ladies.
Oh my gosh.
I would
We're
get
not,
ordained.
but we could.
Yeah, we could get ordained. We could do it.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I do think, though, if I am going to be marrying somebody, I'm going to need to know a little bit more about them. I'm not just going to do it blindly, because I do
No.
take marriage
Okay.
seriously.
Absolutely.
As much as I am
Okay.
open to everyone getting divorced when they want to get divorced, like I'm pro-divorce, I also think we should at least go in believing that this is going to be like a good idea.
It's going to work.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
want
so
to
listeners, that means it's going to be very expensive to get them to marry you. You just have to up the price. They can be bought.
They can be bought.
But I will say, we do make wonderful wedding guests.
We're so
Yeah.
fun.
Pam has apparently bought multiple wedding dresses, or not wedding dresses, but dresses to wear to weddings.
I have a few.
Recently,
Yep.
right? So she's already got
I'm
a
ready.
costume ready. I will have to go shopping. I love an excuse to go shopping. It is fine. We love to dance.
Love to dance.
We are pretty flexible on eating, so we're not going to put any weird allergy or limitations, and whatever you throw out there, we're going to eat. We
Yep.
like spice. We'll eat some dairy. We are meat eaters.
Another question from your listeners.
Yes.
I have them on the horn here.
Yeah.
Do you require an open bar?
Ooh. It is
Require-
preferred, but I also understand, as we discussed earlier, that money is in. Sometimes you have a money
Yes.
situation. I don't want to be a snob. If you don't
Okay.
have the income to afford it, we will probably regulate more of what we drink, and maybe that would be for the best.
Or we might bend the rules and I might have a flask in my bag. Just saying.
Listen, if you're gonna have a cash bar, we are definitely going to be doing shots of Fireball in the parking lot.
Like ladies.
We laugh because we've
It's
done that
true.
before.
It's true.
Classy. So the answer is a soft yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
It'll be fun.
I love weddings. I'll cry probably.
Yes.
Ugh, I usually cry at weddings.
I know.
Yeah, but the answer is yes for us, and a politely decline for my dog. So yeah, email us at weddingconfessionals@gmail.com with your invitations.
With your specifics.
Yes, to get the
Invitations
conversation going.
and your full name so I can do a background check. I don't want to get murdered.
Yeah.
Preferably not.
Preferably not.
Yeah.
Well,
Fair request.
that was a fun little, what a roller coaster ride of confessionals today.
Woo.
Ups, down, unexpected invites.
Laughed, we cried. It was better than
Better
cats.
than cats. Are you guys ready to get on to some bridal breaks?
Yes.
Okay. Bridal breaks, for any of our newer listeners, are not only suggestions we give to brides, but also grooms and anyone else helping out with a wedding or a wedding professional. Anybody listen to this podcast. It's all for you.
You need a break.
Yes, they are just breaks from wedding planning. Take a step away from all the stresses of who can you invite? Why isn't the baker calling me? Yeah, take a break and relax and enjoy these silly things to do. Usually Pammy gives a beverage. I always go pop culture. And then our guest does, honestly, who knows?
We never know.
We literally never know. Paul's a wild card. I don't trust him.
miscellaneous.
Who knows? Pammy, you want to go first?
Yes. So I found this cocktail on howsweeteats.com. And, we're still in March and still around St. Patty's Day. So this is a green cocktail.
Fun.
But it's also very spring and not very sweet. You guys are going to be
Wow,
really
switching it
surprised.
up.
Yes, this is a cucumber vodka soda.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
So it's made with cucumber juice, lime juice, vodka, simple syrup, seltzer water, and then some lime and cucumber slices for garnish.
I have a stupid question. How
Okay.
does one make cucumber juice?
With a
Just
juicer.
juice cucumbers.
Oh, a juicer.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
I'm going to take that and I'm going to take out the vodka. I'm going to put in gin.
There you
Ooh,
go.
yeah, gin and
Yeah.
cucumber is very refreshing. Yeah, that sounds that's
Well,
like
you
you
can-
said, totally light.
And you could even take out the alcohol completely and just go with the lime juice, cucumber juice, and
Yeah.
seltzer water.
Sounds like a drink you get at a spa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. After your massage.
Yeah. And someone speaks to you quietly. Would you like our signature cocktail?
Yes.
We have virgin signature cocktails as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm always, guys, because I'm naturally a loud person. Whenever I come out of the massage, I'm always like a little too loud and immediately pick up and I'd be like, okay, thank you so much. Because my
overcorrect.
whisper voice is already bigger than like most people's normal voice. And I'm so paranoid that I'm going to be like, I either go too big or too small.
Yeah.
I'm like very uncomfortable whispering. I get like, I'm already like sweaty and discombobulated, you know, like you're out of a massage, you've been nude with a stranger. Like there's so much weird shit going on. And then I know where you have to remember to be like cool
Whisper.
and whispery. And I'm like,
Have you run as a naturally loud person? I've also done that. And have you run into the issue that now that you have a mask on your face, you no longer know the proper volume that you should speak at to be heard because you go way too low and they don't even know you're talking because they can't see your mouth moving? It's just this weird silence.
you're just like, I said something.
I said something. I guess they didn't hear me. Let me try again.
Oh man, masks. They're fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
I always, my nose is always runny behind it. So gross.
Oh, I know.
Ew.
Yeah.
I have sinus issues. I can't help it. But yeah, it's always damp underneath there. It's never good. Also, have you guys sneezed in your mask yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you burped in it?
No. Oh
not
no.
Oh, trapped. Oh.
Yeah. It's like a COVID Dutch oven or something. I
Yes.
don't know what it
Yes.
Oh, do you want to tell us your bridal break?
Yeah, sure. I actually brought two.
Yes.
Yeah. So my first one is it's a show that my co-host Erica actually has been telling me to watch forever, and I haven't gotten around to it. And I finally started it literally like it's 5 days ago. And it's on Apple TV Plus, and it's called Dickinson. And it stars Haley Steinfeld. It's about Emily Dickinson, and I know what everyone's thinking. You're either like, yes, I love poetry, and I want to watch a show about Emily Dickinson, or you're asleep. Don't fall asleep. Hear me out. It is a half-hour comedy. It is funny. It is a funny show about Emily Dickinson. It features Wiz Khalifa as Death. Okay, that is the sense of humor that we're going for in this show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If you ladies know who Z-Way is,
Yes.
Z-Way plays 70-year-old Harriet Tubman as Z-Way. So like, okay, it's absurd. Like and it is over the top. It's really funny. And I resisted watching it for a long time because I was like, it's about Emily Dickinson. How funny can it be? Very, very funny. Highly recommend. Will take you out of yourself and is totally like weird and not going to make you think about weddings at all.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I've seen promos for it, and the same thing where I was always kind of like, I don't think this is for me. I only saw like little snippets, but not like full scenes. I had no idea it was weird. This is me learning that it's a weird show.
Yeah,
And now
it's a
you're
weird
in.
show.
Honestly, I'm kind of in. So yeah.
Yeah, John Mulaney as Henry David Thoreau. Like,
Okay.
it's weird. It's really great. And then my second one is, in case someone didn't have Apple TV Plus, there's a new show on HBO Max called Somebody Somewhere, which stars Bridget Everett, who's like a cabaret star in New York, and it is also a comedy. It's not as funny as Dickinson. It's like more like a slice of life, like beautiful little heartwarming nugget of a hug in 30-minute form.
Yes, we discussed before that was also going to be my bridal break.
Yeah.
So I was like, I let
Brooks.
you take it. But yeah, I think it's so wonderful because I didn't expect it because she's such a bigger, Bridget Everett is such like a bigger personality. I didn't know the show was going to be so quiet and so thoughtful. I wasn't prepared. I just thought it was going to be a laugh out loud little silly show because I heard Bridget Everett and singing in a small town.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's going to be kind of like an over the top Schitt's Creek is what I thought it was going to be. And instead you're dealing with grief, you're dealing with family trauma, you're dealing with alcoholism, but you're still laughing. But I'm not kidding. I think I laughed and cried in every episode.
Yeah.
Like it gets you in really quick. Every actor is killing it.
Nailing it. Yes.
And all the actors look like real people.
Yep.
Which I love.
Nice.
No one, it's not like overly done. Like everyone looks like a real person from a small town. Like it's so well, it's so well cast. It's how many episodes is it? Like 5 or 6? It's really
like
short.
7. Yeah, it's like 5, 6, 7 episodes, and then that's the whole. And it got renewed for a second season, so there's more coming.
Oh, good. Yeah, and they're only 30 minutes. So again, it's a quick binge, and it's really sweet. Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then my bridal break is also one that I know Paul would give the thumbs up to because we've been discussing it. If you've heard of Wordle, is that a thumbs up? You have, Pam?
I know. My thing is, if you've heard of it, who
Right.
hasn't heard of
That's
Wordle?
what I think. Like, well, it's funny because I mentioned it to someone else the other day. I was like, oh, I just now am getting into Wordle because I thought it would be too difficult for me because I'm terrible at crossword puzzles. So I avoided it. I saw Wordle existed and I gave it to Tristan, who loved it immediately because he's a he loves those kind of games. And I didn't even attempt it for myself until maybe like a week ago. And now I'm obsessed. But Wordle, Paul, I'm trying to think of the specific way to describe Wordle. Does anyone know how to describe the game of Wordle?
You're trying to guess a 5-letter word, and you have 6 tries to do it, and you're given clues based on your guesses.
Yes.
As you go along.
And it was originally created by this, I think it's software designer created it for his girlfriend, right? Because she loves word games. And he just put a billion words into this little thing, and every day you only do one new word a day, so you can only play it once a day, which is kind of nice. It sort of slows you down and makes it important because you're just like, I only have one chance, you're not like constantly renewing. But apparently everyone really loved it because it was free and it was out there once people knew it existed, and was in a couple articles online and in the newspapers, so everyone started playing it, and the New York Times was like, oh, we buying this. So that guy made millions of dollars off of this little game he made for his girlfriend, which freaking rules.
Nice. Yep.
That's great.
And Paul and my husband are both really big crossword puzzle people. They're really good at that kind of stuff. So again, I felt intimidated to play it. And after you do it once or twice, you sort of pick up on it. And I'm kind of a word dummy, and even I was able to succeed at it.
Yeah.
And there's a way afterwards that you can share your results without spoiling the game. And everyone texts it to each other or puts it on Twitter, and it's a cute way to sort of start your morning with your significant other to find out who's the smarter one.
And if you like Wordle, you can get into all of the spin-offs of Wordle.
Oh yeah,
if you want. Yeah, like 'cause my brother sent me Wordle, where you just get a outline of a country, and you put in a guess, and it'll tell you how close you are to the country and what direction the answer is. And
that's so funny.
You learn pretty quickly, I do know South American countries, but there are a lot of countries in Africa that I am not aware of. So
you actually kind of learn something. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little educational.
And then I also found out just yesterday from my friend Amanda about Hurdle, which is music, and it's all pop music. And the first guess, you get 5 seconds of the song, the first 5 seconds of the song. And you get to type in your answer, and if it's right, obviously. But if it's not right, you get an extra 5 seconds. So you have, I think, 5 or 6 tries, and it keeps adding to the song so you can slowly figure out what the song is. But yeah, that's Hurdle. That's the only ones that I know of is Hurdle and Wordle. And you said some other one earlier.
There's Quartle, which is 4 Wordles at the same time, and Octortle, which is 8 Wordles at the same time.
Absolutely
But you
not.
get you get more guesses. You get 9 guesses for the 4 thing, and you get 13 guesses for the 8 thing. So it's
I'm getting sweaty. That's
I can
too much.
see the look on Brooke's face. She's like, I'm not interested.
If you're a word person, yes,
my face.
please try that. But if you're like me, it's oh no. Way too complicated. So that's all of our bridal breaks.
That's it.
Paul, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Tell everybody where they can find you and your podcast.
The podcast is called That Aged Well. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Overcast, Podbean, Podcatcher, anything. Anywhere you get them, you can find That Aged Well. And you can just scroll through and find movies that you like and that you've seen, and you can listen to us talk about them. Or just FYI, if you haven't seen the movie, we will tell you what happens. We spoil the fuck out of all of the movies we talk about. So you can listen to one that you haven't seen if you want to too. And it's fun, I think. I think it's a good show. It's a great bridal break to take you out of your
Yes.
wedding spiral.
Yes. Bonus bridal break.
Additional yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think that everyone should learn how to get in touch with our podcast, Pam.
They should.
We like to share that information in the form of a quiz that I give my lovely co-host. Let me grab my clipboard. Let me grab a pen.
Am I allowed
she
to
says
help Pam?
we.
Oh, wait, Pam, Paul, do you want to take the quiz?
I want to help Pam. I want Pam and I to take the quiz together.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Fine. I will ask you each individually.
Okay.
Okay. Paul, we have a web address. How can you find us?
WeddingConfessionals.com.
Pam. From weddingconfessionals.com, there are 5 different ways to find us on social media. There's links for all our website to those social media handles. Where are we on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest.
Correct. Paul.
Yes.
From there, you can also find show notes. So we're talking about everything here that that we want to link to. Look to those show notes. They're also going to be on the website. Also, we want you to share your secrets with us. Share your confessionals. We love the stories. We love the rants. We love the questions. Paul, there are 3 different ways that you can reach us. We have an email address that you can send us your confessionals, all anonymous. Paul, what is the email address?
WeddingConfessionals@gmail.com.
Correct. Unfortunately, Pam, that means you get the next question, which is, what is the phone number?
She did this on purpose.
It is a voicemail. We completely... Oh, Paul is putting up fingers to help. It's a phone number. You leave a voicemail. We will just transcribe. We don't use your voice. Pam, what?
Did we get a pass?
No, I'm closing my eyes.
Listen, I think she can figure this out. I believe in her. 2022 is her year of the Pam.
We'll see.
The phone number is go.
434.
Yes.
933.
Yes.
2663.
Pam.
Yes!
I should change the phone number now just to fuck you up.
Oh, you're so mean.
Paul, on the website, there's another way that you can tell us your confessional. It's a little tab on our website. What is the tab called?
Tell us your secrets.
Yes. And there is a little form. You put in whatever name you want. Put in a little box. You chat, a little tickety tack in your little gossip, and then you hit submit. No email address needed.
Nope.
No phone number.
Nope.
We're just here for your gossip. We're not really
That's
using any of your data. We don't care.
Not at all.
Unless you want us to come to your wedding, and then we're doing a full background check, maybe blood work.
Yeah.
Pammy. Yes.
We would love for everyone to give us a review on Apple Podcast. How many stars do you prefer?
5.
Paul
is my favorite.
Follow up. How many stars do you prefer for That Aged Well and Wedding Confessionals?
5 stars, 5 stars only. I don't need your 4-star review. Okay. I don't need notes. I don't need constructive criticism. Okay. All right. Unless if you are a podcaster and you want to send me an email about something you might think would be helpful, that is fine. I don't need it in the Apple review. Give me 5 stars or don't bother. You may see yourself out, sir, madam, or anywhere in between.
Paul also prefers 5 stars.
I think that's what we got out of that.
All right. We're going to go into the other ways you can listen to our podcast besides Apple Podcasts. Pam, there are 2 more that start with the letter A. What are they?
Amazon and Audible.
Paul, there are 2 that start with the letter C. What are they?
Castro and Castbox?
Correct. Pam, there are 2 that start with the letter D.
Deezer and Downcast.
Paul, there's 1 that starts with the letter G.
Google Play.
There's one that starts with the letter I, Pamela. You almost said it. Paul's giving you a clue.
iHeartRadio.
Correct. Paul, there is one with the letter O.
Overcast.
Pammy, there's one with the letter L. Oh, both of them. I think we stumped. Did we get to L? 5.
L.
Listen notes. Listen notes.
Okay, you know what? I don't even feel bad about that. Never heard that before.
Me neither.
I say it every damn week, Pamela.
I must tune you out.
After that, we have Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Pod Paradise, Podtail, Podcast Addict, Podcast Land, Podcast Republic, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. And Paul, if you use your voice to say play Wedding Confessionals, what 2 services allow that?
Alexa and Siri?
Correct.
We make a good team, Paul. Thank you.
I think we did good.
Thank you for coming on the show, Paul. It was a blast.
Thanks for having me again. It was so much fun.
And Pammy, I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song.
And David Kantrowitz for our fantastic logo.
And Ramsey Millette and Brian Maylard for their technical support.
If you want to learn more about our show, where you got to go, Pam?
Check out our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
That's it, girl. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.